Good evening! Welcome to Live Life to the Fullest. This is your daily dose of inspiration, challenging oneself to be intentional. I invite you every 9 p.m. as I share my reflections for the day in the hope that I get to inspire and empower you to live life to the fullest. So why I'm doing this is because I want to inspire you and to know that you are inspire you to know that you are living life to the fullest. So it is my hope and desire that you will also live life to the fullest. Yon. So for this evening, we have a special guest with us. And let me introduce her to you. Okay, our special guest is someone close to my heart. And she believes that everyone is a pot full of stories and that there is power in the exchange of it. Today, she will share to us or with us her very personal tale of surviving, which she hopes will encourage everyone to take or to make the most of each day. This year is her ninth year in remission from endometrial cancer, and the year she won over another big C, which is COVID 19. Friends, our guest is someone close to my heart because we belong to the same organization called Toastmasters International. And later on, we'll get to know more about her. So, in our episode for this evening, episode 185, let me introduce to you our special guest, Mary Solina.
Yay! Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Coach Janice. Thank you for inviting me tonight.
What are you grateful for, Mary?
That it's a Friday and that I get to spend this evening with you and with your viewers to share with them, something for them to think about. Yun. Nga ba?
Okay. So before we go to the very essence of our topic, diba? Ang topic natin ngayon is I am a survivor. So kindly give some background. Oh, bago muna to, mag-konting something light muna tayo bago ko makalimutan. Can you share to us something like a joke para medyo maging masaya na muna tayo bago tayo mag-usap ng something serious?
Okay, sige. Handa ako dyan. Okay. Coach, anong sabi ng boy octopus sa girl octopus?
Ano?
Sabi niya, baby, pwede ba tayong holding hands, holding hands, holding hands, holding hands, holding hands, holding hands.
Yun na ba yun?
Yes.
Kaya oo, ang sweet talaga nun kasi ilang kamay yun, di ba? In-explain ko yung joke. Okay. Mag-type naman kayo sa chat box kung natawa kayo doon. Sige na, please. Ayan. So thank you, Mary, for that very enlightening joke.
Next time.
Okay. Sige. So, our audience here or viewers would like to know you more. So, can you give us a brief background about yourself? Ano ba yung kwento ng buhay mo na gusto mong i-share sa ating mga viewers?
Sige, iiyak na tayo. Joke lang. I am the eldest in the family. So I have a sister. I call myself as a stage sister because like I am just so proud of my sister Frances. She celebrated her birthday month back. So yun yung hashtag Clingy since 1985. Outside of Toastmasters, which is one of my passions, and I've been doing that for the last 3 years. I am the head of operations for a software development company. So that is the day job. It's exciting. I like it also when I help people just see how they can develop. I love mentoring. So yeah, that's something that my work currently allows me to do. So yeah, that's it.
So si Mary, we met I think in 2018, tama ba?
Yes. Correct,
no?
January.
2018. Yes, it was January 2018. She first visited our club in Toastmasters. Sakto noon, kaya hindi ko makalimutan kasi it was a club contest. It was a club contest. And it so happened that Mary was game. Kasi sabi niya, kailangan namin ng contestant kasi table topics, yun yung part ng program na may impromptu, may topic, tapos magbibigay ka ng opinion mo about the topic, ganyan. Tapos game naman siya, gusto niya mag-join kasi interested na siya talaga mag-join ng Toastmasters. So yun, nag-join siya. Incidentally, siya yung nanalo sa club contest namin. Tama ba?
Kaya
Di ba?
nagpa-member na ako.
Tapos napa-member na siya. Tapos sinalang namin siya sa napasali siya sa area level hanggang sa umabot sa district, 'di ba? And then
yung first hanggang hanggang district niya. Oo nga.
Oo, diretso na 'yon. Diretso
Yung,
na.
yung second time, yung 2019, doon tayo umabot ng division.
Oo. So, dalawang try ka pala din. Hindi naman kagad. At saka, incidentally, parang meron talagang champion tapos hindi siya pumwede. Kaya ikaw yung, dahil ikaw yung second place, tama? That time? Tama ba?
Yes. And
parang Miss Universe lang, di ba?
Kaya importante po ang first runner-up. Huwag kayong maniniwala. And I think, Coach, that's one of the themes that I've seen just, with what has happened to me and my family recently, that there are no accidents. Everything is a God-orchestrated moment. Yes. Even that win. So for everyone who may be asking, I won first runner-up in the in the district. Division pala. Tapos ang tawag dito, syempre sad ako, akala ko kasi mananalo ko. And then eventually the champion, Ian, had to leave for work. So, hindi siya makakabalik for the contest. So, sabi nila, maghanda ka, Mary. So, okay, sige. But I wasn't really thinking that it would happen until they told me, okay, you're flying to Cebu. Parang, okay, totoo pala. And there, and, like we, President's Toastmasters Club na the 2019 D75 Table Topics Championship.
Yes! Naging champion! Woohoo! Talagang, I was there. Talagang sobrang proud kami sa'yo nung time na yun. Sa Cebu yun, no? Sa Cebu. So, yan. So, doon pa lang, guys, makikilala nyo na kung gaano katapang gaano katapang ang personality in terms of yung hindi humihindi sa opportunity. Parang when there's an opportunity at hand, nakita niya na okay, di ba? Ginagrab niya kagad. And something na, yun na, nabibless siya and then nabibless din yung mga tao sa paligid niya. Ayun. Di ba? Ayan. So, let's go naman to the, not the sad part, but it's more of the, how should I call this? Parang, test of faith. A test of faith in your life. So, nabanggit ko sa introduction kanina na you are a survivor. 9 years na pala yun, no, Mary?
Yes.
Since some time na So, kwentuhan mo nga kami briefly about what happened.
Well, when you are 28, and for the first time in your career, you are a manager. I was an assistant manager. I thought I had it going for myself. But it was also the first time that I worked the night shift. Well, no shade. I think it's just really my body. I wasn't the healthiest person. And so in 2012, I was surprised that I was TMI, bleeding too much. I was bleeding for 6 months. And I was like thinking, kasi mataba kasi ako, so irregular lang yung menstruation ko and what have you. But it didn't seem to stop at all. And so I don't remember why I went to the doctor, but I realized I had to. And then she said, okay, let's do some tests. And then from there, see what we need to do. And so after how many days, she said, meron kang thickening nung lining ng mattress mo. So typically, Coach Janice, ito yung sa mga, ang tawag dito, yung mga raraspahin ka. Kasi, yun nga, so sabi ko, ang weird naman, bakit po kaya meron? Sabi niya, ano lang yan, hormonal lang yun, mataba ka kasi. So parang, okay, thanks doc, ganyan. We scheduled for, DNC to happen. And then after that, it was quick, like, siguro mga 3 days lang ako sa hospital, not even. And then they told me to pick up my results after a week. I went to that hospital after a week, and the person in charge of releasing the documents, ang sabi niya sa akin agad, "Ma'am, anong nangyari sa'yo?" So parang ako, nagulat ako kasi 'di ba hindi yung usual na question na ibibigay lang sa'yo. Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, nagbi-bleed kasi ako ng matagal, ganyan. And then when I saw the paper, it said there, endometrial adenocarcinoma. So endometrium, adenocarcinoma. Carcinoma is like cancer, diba? Na-google na natin before that. But that was surprising because number one, when you're young, you don't think about being sickly. You think you're invincible. And so that was my first time to really reconcile myself with the brevity of life. Because apparently, they can't tell you kung anong stage na ng cancer mo until they open you up. And that was just hard because number one, you don't prepare for cancer, diba? Number two, at that point in time, there were several personal issues happening at the family front, and it was taking its toll. So I felt like I was the only person battling that. And then, of course, there's the finances part, thinking about ano ba, makakapasok ba ako ng office, paano ko babalik, ganyan. We eventually had my surgery in July of that year because after I met with my doctor and I gave her na, Doc, ito yung finding ng DNC. Sabi niya, oh, you have to be checked. So we look for doctors who will accept my HMO, and then, talking to the HMO really through the company so that they will allow me to pay, everything. They will pay the hospital, and then I'll just pay them with interest and whatnot. And that was hard because also at that time, as someone who was really feeling abandoned, after the surgery, I was living on like 50 pesos a day. I had to pay all the bills on my, I had to look for money on my own. There were people who definitely helped me, but I wasn't used to being helped. And so I felt that was me being a burden. Kaya parang, alam mo yun, parang ang hirap tumanggap ng tulong, ang hirap din manghingi. So that was really a struggle until eventually, I got into a better job, a better opportunity. They paid the loans I had with my former company. And so I thought na parang, okay na, ganyan na. Things got better. But life is very capricious. That's what we learned. No one is spared of the ups and downs. And so, most recently, the biggest challenge that we've encountered as a family, hindi na lang ako, is really the COVID scare. Well, not the COVID scare, but the COVID diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. So, ilang years yung binattle mo yung cancer mo?
Ano lang siya, because we found it and we acted really fast. Siguro for mga 1 to 2 years, the doctor told me, my onco told me na, let's not do chemo and radiation therapy anymore kasi overkill na siya. Tapos kami talaga, hindi mo na kami ikikimo? Hindi mo na ako ikikimo? Sabi niya, oo, ganun. But the healing, siguro maybe a year. I got back to work after 2-3 months. But yeah, I mean, the pain that I had to struggle with was outside of the physical pain. It was like the emotional pain. It was, all the doubts that you have, and then, the responsibilities, because you also owe people a lot of things during that time.
Tapos, kwentuhan mo kami, paano ka naman nagkaroon ng COVID?
Ayan, okay. March 11, hindi ko makakalimutan yun. I woke up and I felt cold. I remember the night before, they said that there was a typhoon. So I was thinking, baka naman lamig lang to galing sa labas. Tapos nung lunchtime, pareho kami ng tatay ko, inuubo na kami ng grabe. Tapos nilalagnat na. Siyempre, tapang-tapangan kami kasi alam niyo parang inisip mo, baka trangkaso lang to. But I was already thinking, sabi ko, something's wrong kasi magkasabay kami ni Papa. Gabi, hindi na kami makahinga. Ang bilis niyang mag-progress kasi lagnat lang siya, inuubos yung isipon. Nung gabi, hindi talaga ako makahinga. Pero inisip ko, it's not COVID until we test for it. Diba? It's just manifesting as something. Ganyan. Kinabukasan, my dad went to the other house, dun sa bahay ng parents ko. Because right now, I'm here in my sister's house. Hi, Nene. We were checking each other and apparently si mama din, masama na rin pala yung pakiramdam. So parang kami, alright, something's wrong. Something's off with the world. And then we kind of decided na, hey, we need to have ourselves checked. Initially, my parents weren't too keen because they were afraid. We have a dog. They have also, they're very much active in church. And their first fear was, what will happen to us? Kukunin ba kami ng barangay? Kasi wala naman kasing ina-explain sa atin kung anong protocol kapag na-diagnose ka. Diba? Sino mo i-report, paano, ganyan. And they were afraid. But my sister and I kind of said, no, we need to get checked. So I planned na magpapaswab test ako. And then over the weekend, because I believe the 11th was a Thursday, over the weekend, we got wind of news that some of the friends who visited us were positive for COVID. Parang kami, oh no. And, these people were very, they're very careful also, well-meaning. But they've decided to, out of love, visit, ganyan. And while there may be other avenues for us to get COVID kasi like my dad would go out, ganyan.
Yes.
He would have meetings, ganyan. If we counted the days from the 11th back, those were the people who fit the 5 to 6 day incubation period. And it was hard because number one, you really, there's no way not to be mad at people for what had happened because it was such an inconvenience, and that's an understatement. Okay? And from there, yun nga, nag-swab test na kami, lumabas positive. That was devastating. If you ever felt that naaawa tayo dun sa mga nakikita natin sa news, mas nakakaawa pagka talagang ikaw yung nasa sitwasyon because you realize that all the things that you've done for the last 1 year, sana sayang yung pag-iingat mo. Tapos, you now think of the scenarios that will happen after the diagnosis. And so that's where we were. But the thing that we didn't really think about was that we couldn't self-diagnose. We just knew we had COVID, right? We don't know how bad it was. Hindi kami pumunta agad sa doktor at humingi ng medicines. So for about 6 days, hindi kami makakain. My partner, she lived in a different house. She would go to the house and just leave stuff for me to eat, but I can't eat them. Like wala talaga. Hindi dahil wala akong panglasa, pang-amoy, pero wala akong ganang kumain kasi it's the virus just really eating you.
Yes.
Tapos masakit ang ulo mo, hindi ka makatayo, talagang sobrang ganun. So that's how COVID ravages your body. If you know someone or if someone tells you na, trangkaso lang yan, sampalin mo po, please. Because that's not true. It really takes away every living ounce of you. Makes you tired, fatigued, everything. Until you realize, and this is kind of where things became a little critical. Because of my fraught medical history, I was really suffering. My parents were healthier, but I was I couldn't breathe, I wasn't improving. Hindi na nagtatanggap sa ospital. So 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, parang gosh, paano na? But this, that part, I was I just wasn't sure. I was I just want this to stop. I'm tired. Hindi ka makatulog. Pagka umuubo ka, pati yung ribs mo, yung mga tagiliran mo.
Sakit.
Ang sakit sobra. But speaking about God orchestrated moments, there were a bunch of people who were looking after us. That same group that my parents are a part of, they were really concerned about us. So they were checking, ano, may kailangan po ba kayo, tita, tito, anong gusto ni Mary. They sent vegetables, fruits, ano yun, na parang, kasi hindi namin magawa eh. We cannot infect other people eh. And this one lady, she had the quickness of mind to list my name in the hospital. So they called a hospital in Las Marinas, several hospitals here in Molino. They really don't have any space. Until we had an opportunity on Saturday, we felt a little better. We found the doctor. We went to the doctor. Tapos sabi ng doctor, oh, ito inumin nyo, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Nung gabi, alas 7, may tumawag sa amin from the hospital saying na, we have one bed. You have 2 hours to get here. The bed, if you're here, like you can get it. That's
May
how I was.
deadline.
Na parang, paano nangyari yun? Paano nangyari yun? And, you know, just digressing a bit, no? We found out because of the follow-up checkup after the discharge, that doctor that we went to doesn't even have a Saturday clinic. Nagkataon lang na nung time na nagpunta kami, nagpa-Saturday clinic siya. So talagang
Wow.
talagang parang there is someone out there looking after us. You cannot
Yes.
deny that after this, after this. So yeah, amazing. And I went to the tent, yung muna, so mga 3 hours ako doon. Again, that moment when you realize things can go south. Someone died in the other tent. Umiyak na sila, ganyan. So, parang isip ko, lalabas ba akong tao o lalabas akong abo?
Kasi yun yung protocol, di ba? Na
Oo.
pag once you died of COVID, you'll be cremated.
And then, um, I they placed me inside one of the COVID rooms. Apparently, there are special rooms. So, yung isang floor dun sa hospital, COVID ward siya. You're alone, you're isolated. So, your first challenge is um, isolation, abandonment. Even the nurses, because of the protocol, they only visit you at certain times. But for example, checking your vital signs, they would text me, they give me my own BP, my own thermometer, so magte-text kami, ganyan. Papasok sila, very quick lang, maglalagay lang sila ng gamot, check, ganyan. Or kunyari, pagka merong off dun sa readings ng vitals ko, they would come to me. And you know, like, loneliness, definitely. Resentment, di ba? Dun sa mga tao na, dapat hindi ako nagka-COVID eh. Diba? When I was in the hospital, I didn't tell friends. I told presidents, those masters, because someone had to do my job. The office knew because I went to the office pa nung hindi pa confirmed na COVID cases. Work from home kami, by the way. So that's what I meant by nagpunta ako ng office. So I didn't tell a lot of friends about that because I just felt there's no value in telling people what I was going through at that time. They will only get worried. So that led to the isolation. And then, you know, the tests weren't promising. There's this procedure called ABG, arterial blood gas test. They would get your blood straight from your artery. That's so painful. And after that test, they told me, Mama, baba talaga ng oxygen mo. So parang ako, ano yun? Tapos hindi ka naman nila kakausapin ng mahaba. Kasi di ba,
marami sila inaasikaso eh.
Totoo. So parang ako, ano nang mangyayari? Hindi pa rin ako makahinga. Lagi kang naka-oxygen 24/7. And like you can't speak. My voice has not returned to its 100% power. Imagine being this hoarse and then worse. So you can't speak. So there, and then just, you know, again, so you have, you're alone, you're angry because of your situation and, you know, at the people, and just, again, really worried about what's next. Gaano ka katagal sa ospital? Hindi kasi nila masasabi na, 10 days lalabas ka na. Walang ganun. Like, they evaluate you day by day. And the waiting really adds to your anxiety.
Yeah. So ano sa tingin mo yung nagpabigay sa'yo ng hope, Mary, para sabihin na, hindi, it's not yet my time. God has still a purpose for me.
Hindi actually, naisip ko na tapos na siya, katapusan ko na. Ang hirap maging positive kapag dinadaanan mo yung ordeal eh. Kasi kahit merong mga pockets of joy, moments na alam mo na parang, things will be better. It's just hard because your senses show you evidence that it's not gonna be okay. But I was very much encouraged by the love of the people around me. And it may sound cliche, but really, when you realize that people are rooting for you and people want you to live, it pushes you because you ask yourself why. What have I done to deserve people to look after me and tell me that they want to see me alive? Number one was my sister, the motivation of seeing my niece again, realizing that there's still a zillion things that I could do with my parents. Like enjoying life with people that I love. Parang naisip ko na parang I want that again because I have not lived fully. I was living, but I want, to extract every drop of what life can offer me. And then also the medicines. I was reading a lot about, syempre doon ko lang magbabasa talaga na ano ba nangyayari sa COVID na to. So the just the power of remdesivir. Ayan. Kahit mahal siya at hindi siya covered ng HMO tsaka ng PhilHealth. Like it was an out of expense. Like you just, the days were becoming bearable. Ang pagka tinatanong nga ako, parang ano, okay ka na? Sinasabi ko, hindi ko po alam kung okay na ako, pero hindi ako lumalala.
Yeah.
And that was enough to push me na, okay, another day. Another day. And sabi ko kay God, kasi ito na, I was worried about my sick leave. Sabi ko, gosh, meron pa ba akong sa office? Ano na mangyayari? Like, I was thinking of things that I thought were very important. They are important, but in the grand scheme of things, they're they're dust in the wind. Ganyan. Tapos, sabi ko, Lord, kailangan mapalabas mo ako before April 5. Kasi meron akong, sinabi ko kasi meron kaming new hire, sabi ko gano'n, and I had to be the one in charge of that new hire. Tapos, palapit na ng palapit si April 5. March 30, wala pa rin. Sabi ko, Lord, akala ko ba sabi mo, papalabasin mo ako before April 5. March 31, lo and behold, sabi ng doktor, alis na tayo bukas. So, talaga po. Tapos, ayun lang, parang nagulat lang ako, hindi ko alam yung actual basis. But, he gave me a clean bill of health. So, I was like, yes. And true enough, April 1, I was out of the hospital, diba? Before April 5. Right?
Before Easter Sunday.
Exactly. So, parang totoo talaga na, ang tawag dito, yung ano nga sa Tagalog yun, yung pagkabuhay. Yung pagkabuhay ni God, parang, Lord, nga nabuhay kaming lahat sa COVID. Kasi ako yung nasa ospital, pero my parents were also struggling at home. They were self-quarantining. They had to, cook by themselves and what have you. So, lahat kami parang, ayun yung April 1, nakalabas ako ng ospital, nasundo na ako, nandun kami sa bahay. Parang, wow. Like, just so happy. Just so happy.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. So, maganda yung kunyento ni Mary sa atin, yung ordeal niya, yung struggle niya. Kaya ako gustong i-share to sa inyo, guys, kasi maraming tao na very carefree, careless, irresponsible, no? So, hindi nila, sa kagustuhan nilang gawin yung mga bagay na gusto nilang gawin na hindi nila masyadong na-take into consideration na baka may ibang taong maapektuhan with the actions that they are doing. Na it could lead to something like that. Na, diba, yung pwede ka makahawa, hindi mo alam na may sakit carrier ka pala, tapos makakahawa ka. There are several instances na mga tao na hindi naman lumalabas ng bahay pero nagkaka-COVID.
Right.
How naghuhugas na sila ng kamay, they're disinfecting, di ba? Pero bakit nagkakaroon pa rin? And it's probably because of, yun nga, Some people are, yun nga, hindi sila ganun ka mindful of their actions that it leads to something na iba yung napapahamak. Ayan. So, so far, in your experience, ano yung parang naging reflection mo? Um, ano yung parang naging realization mo with your experience, learning with this experience?
I loved your intro because you mentioned about being intentional, and I think that's like really the theme for me. No one is guaranteed tomorrow. This is something that I've been telling everyone at work, my friends last year. But now that we have experienced that, no one is really guaranteed tomorrow. I have a friend, and I saw that she posted on Facebook that she was also, the day that I was discharged, may post siya na parang, I'm dealing with COVID, ganyan. And this was someone that I was really close with. Alam mo, Coach, ang nangyari, 6 hours after I spoke with her, she died because she was intubated. To think I was just talking to her in the morning. Now, let's replace that person with the people that we love. Let's replace that with the things that we still want to do. If we do not live intentionally, if we continue to think just, about ourselves, not recognizing the consequences that would come out of our actions, we can lose everything that we hope we can still accomplish. And that's number one, really. Your future starts today. You need to think about the actions that you do and really sift through them, you know, as thoroughly as you can. Alam mo yun, isipin mo ano ba mangyayari dito. Not to paralyze you, but for you to realize the bigger picture. Kasi yun naman siya eh. Hindi, di ba, parang isipin nyo na lang, kunyari, bibisita kayo sa friends nyo, magpa-party kayo, hindi naman kita, naka-mask naman kayo and all. But, let's say, someone's immunocompromised there, di ba? You are robbing other people of their parents, di ba? And that's on you.
Yeah. Hinga ng malalim.
Well, intentional ka dapat.
Huwag kalimutang huminga ng malalim kasi 'di ba minsan yung also siguro ang realization ko doon, there are some things that we take for granted like our breath. Diba? Yung our ability to breathe. Di ba? Minsan taken for granted yan, di ba? Pero with your experience, every breath you take is talagang di ba? It's really precious eh. It's life.
Ang tawag dito, iba yung feeling nung nakakanta na ako ng first time. Na kahit yung mga konti lang. Kasi hindi mo dati kaya yun eh. Yung makababa ako ng stairs ng bahay. Parang, gosh, it's a milestone. Kasi nung nandun ako sa bamit ng karamdaman, wala talaga. Hindi ko kaya. Hapon na agad ako. So, yes, tama yun, Coach. Super. 100%.
Value what you have, 'di ba? Parang it's the perfect time talaga to really treasure, be grateful for what you have, for your family. Sabi mo nga kanina, siguro it's an opportunity for us to, kung meron kayong samaan ng loob sa family, magkapatawaran na bago pa may mangyari na hindi maganda. Kung meron ka for yourself na mga baggages na dinadala up to now, learn to forgive yourself, learn to forgive the people who have caused you some pain, and allow yourself to be happy, di ba? Kasi i-treasure mo instead na mag-worry ka ng mga bagay-bagay. You just enjoy life to the fullest. Kasi you never know nga eh kung hanggang kailan na lang talaga yung buhay na binigay sa atin ni Lord. And you have something to add.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the theme of being intentional, diba? You only have a fixed amount of years here in the earth. Hindi mo lang alam kung kailan yun, diba? So how do you spend that? How will you spend that if you have been squandering life pursuing other things? Again, things look different for each one, so there's no judgment here, no? But in reality, if something doesn't add to your life, if a relationship does not make you happy, or it does not make you grow, because happiness is also, a state of mind. then it's okay to let it go. Growth is not just about adding, but also pruning. Diba? And that's
Yes.
intentionality. You make room for the important things. In 2017, that was like the biggest question that I had to ask myself. And I realized that while money, title, and everything is so attractive and you want to pursue it because everyone's pursuing, the things that remain are family, kindness, love, friendship. There
Health.
are, yeah, exactly. Yeah, oo nga, why did you forget that? It's there. Diba? These things, diba, you get to carry with you. The rest, iwan mo siya eh. And if you are someone who may be feeling na I have not been the best friend, I have also, like things that I'm not good at. You are human, we're all human, but what's important is we recognize that and we do something now to rectify that. It's never too late, diba? Um, and as long as you get to wake up, 'di ba? Every gising is a blessing. G lang,
Yes.
go lang. Gawin natin.
Yan. So I feel that probably kaya binuhay ka pa ni Lord kasi you have this mission of sharing your story to people so that you can bless them. Especially people who are losing hope, na parang hanggang dito na lang ba talaga ako sa buhay na to? Hindi na ba ako talaga aasenso? Or yung people na um, masyadong go, go, go lang sa work or sa career, napapabayaan na yung relationship sa family, sa sarili nila. Napapabayaan nila yung sarili nila, di ba? Because of doing so much na mga ganong bagay. So, it's really a matter of prioritizing what's important to you, your values, di ba? And ako, for myself, if I am also to share, ano din eh, parang this pandemic of COVID-19 talagang brought me closer to God. Allowed me to be more closer to God, daily masses, um, Bible reading, scripture, um, and journaling. It really is important. Yan. So, ayan, si Nanay Malu is watching us right now. Yan. Si Toastmaster Malu. Nice sharing. Thank you. Ayan. So,
Thank
I'm
you.
so thankful to you, Mary, that you said yes to my invitation to be my guest here in Live Life to the Fullest to bless our viewers. So, any final words that you want to share to our viewers with what has happened to you?
Make the most of every moment that you have because it will be taken from anyone. Like, just, it can be taken from you. Do not chase the things that do not last. Diba? And what they are, you know. Diba? The things that do not make you happy, that make you feel tired because you're chasing after something. Um, Also, like shift your eyes towards the, you know, I would say the higher things. The pandemic is very challenging because it plays on ano ba, our need as human beings. We want to be with someone, we want connection, we want, closeness, diba? But ask yourselves, diba, is physical closeness the only way to express how much you love a person?
Mhm.
Diba? There's a lot, and if we're not doing them, we have a chance. Diba? When this is all over, diba? And, pagka, yun nga, parang naalala ko lang, no? Kasi lagi nating sinasabi na kaya pa natin gawin ulit na may bukas pa. Pero yun talaga yung message, coach eh. Walang nakakasigurado na may bukas.
Yes.
So, uulit-ulitin ko siya.
Yes.
Hanggang meron kayong today, make the most out of it. Totoo po na nasa huli yung pagsisisi. Kasi, di ba, kahit sa mga nakapalibot sa atin, ang dami nang nawala, bigla, hindi man lang tayo nakapagpaalam. Di ba?
Yeah.
So, yun lang. Love, love.
Love, love, love. Yes. Let's spread love. Diba? Thank you, Mary. I'm so blessed to have you as a friend. And I continue to pray for you for your
Thank you
complete
po.
healing. And know that I am just here for you.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Bye,
Thanks,
Mary.
everyone. Good
God
night.
bless. Okay. Yan, guys. Sobrang nakaka-bless yung sharing ni Mary. Ayan, merong mga nanood sa atin. Pakita ko lang. Yan, si aking mother, nanood siya. Yan. Also, si aking sister-in-law, nakasama rin namin sa Toastmasters. And, of course, ang aming mother din sa president, si Tita Remy. Yan. It really is an inspiring story. And I applaud you, Mary, for your courage to come out and share this to our viewers. Diba? It's sharing is caring. When we do share our life story, we are blessing other people. It goes beyond us. And this is also the aim of the show. As I share my story, I hope you are blessed, and let's continue doing it to other people. So this is my way of encouraging you to share your story as well. So if you have a beautiful story that you feel that can bless other people, please message me. And I'd be happy to have you as my guest here so that we can bless more people with your story. That's about it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching Live Life to the Fullest. And I hope to see you again in the next episode. Stay safe and healthy. Stay at home. God bless. Bye bye.